The budgeting tool is the first step of taking control of your finances. It's designed in a really easy to use way, and basically what you will need to make sure you've got with you before you start this is details of all your income and everything that you spend on your household items. The first section relates to your home. So these are the charges that you pay to live in your property. So you put in your rent. Now obviously as a Cross Keys Homes tenant, you'll be paying your rent weekly. So you put in the figure that you pay. You can change that if you pay monthly. The system will calculate all of this automatically for you. If you do pay any service charges that aren't considered as part of eligible for things like housing benefit, then put those figures in there. Once you're happy that you've put your housing costs in terms of your rent, move over to council tax. And again, put in the amount that you will pay. This too can be changed. So if you're currently paying your bill weekly, leave it at weekly, but most of us pay it monthly. We then move to utilities. And again, this is what you're paying for your gas, electric, water and TV licence. So pop your figure in. And again, make the adjustment in terms of whether that's paid weekly, monthly or fortnightly. In this instance, we'll be paying our gas and electric on a weekly basis. Next is your water bill. So again, pop that in. Most people do pay their water bill on a monthly basis, but if you're paying yours weekly, just choose the right option that works for you. And the TV licence will automatically put in the figure. And again, you will then just need to change that to how you pay it. Generally, if you're paying weekly, I think it's around £12 per week. The next section relates to insurance. So if you pay anything for your home insurance, life insurance, make sure you put those figures in. Once you're happy that you've done all of those sections that relate to your home, you can now move on to your living costs. Now this looks at things like food, toiletries, all those other items and outgoings that you might have that you need to live, that keep your household going. Food and toiletries, often people don't really distinguish between those two because it might be that as part of your food shop you do a toiletries shop, but we'll just put that figure in there for now. And again with clothing, you might not spend this money every week, so we can put maybe that you spend £20 and update that as a monthly figure. If you do smoke or you've got pets that you pay out regularly for, again make sure you're putting that information in there. The children's costs section relates to any childcare costs you might have, and also if you pay anything out in terms of things like regular clubs, school meals or school trips. Again, travel costs, fairly self-explanatory. If you have a bus pass that costs you £15 every week, pop that in there. If you have a vehicle, make sure you put in how much you're paying for your fuel, your insurance costs and how you're paying them. So again, if you pay your insurance yearly, you can change that figure to yearly. Road tax is generally a yearly figure. So again, just put all those details in there in terms of what you're paying out. And then we move on to leisure costs. So if you are a member of a gym, or you have any regular holidays that cost you money, we have a subscription to a magazine or newspaper, make sure you put those figures in there. The idea of this is that we've got a really accurate picture of everything that you're spending. We now move to other outgoings. So that is things like your mobile phone and your internet. Let's be honest, most of us have a mobile phone. So again, just make sure you put the figure in terms of what you're actually paying out each month. And if you have more than one phone, so say you're paying for a child's phone as well, add both of those figures together. TV subscription, so that might be Sky, Netflix, Now TV, any of those TV subscriptions. So again, make sure you put those details in there. Be honest and be accurate. If you have any regular medical costs, again, make sure they're updated. The same with things like educational costs, and if you have any costs that link to the work that you may or may not do. So if you do have to pay union fees, then just make sure you put those in. And finally, we're looking now at other finance options that you might be paying. So if you're paying for a car, if you have a bank loan or a payday loan, or any kind of loan repayment, make sure you put that in there. And the same with your credit cards or store cards or catalogue repayments. So again, make sure you're putting those in there. And again, you can amend those to whatever works for you. Next up are priority debt repayments. So this is if you owe any money on things like rent arrears, council tax arrears, or any of your utilities. Please again make sure that you're putting this figure in there, because this is all a reflection of what you're paying out, and also these are important costs that you need to make sure you cover if you do owe any money. And then if there are any other regular payments that you're paying out, so if you pay a pension contribution or you put regular money away into a savings account, pop these in here. So that's everything in terms of your outgoings. So next we move to income. If you do have a salary, make sure you put that in there, and include, if you have a partner, your partner's earnings as well. We then move on to means tested benefits. So if you do have any of these payments in place, then again, make sure you input those into the system. And if you are in receipt of any other benefits, again, make sure you input that into the system also. You'll see here that it covers a long list of different things, so make sure you read through it and you make sure you've got everything in there that's an accurate reflection of what you bring home each week or each month. And then again, if there's any other areas of income to you, so for example child maintenance or support from a spouse, again make sure you put that into this section. So once you're happy that everything is covered, click the continue button. So you've now got your final budget, and in this instance your budget looks great. This page will show you what you've put in as your outgoings, your income, and therefore what the difference is between the two. If you scroll down, it will show you what your outgoings cover, and as you can see, the bulk of this is payments for rent and then other household costs. It will also show you how your income is made up. And again, these can be edited if you need to, so you can go back in and make changes to any of the data within this. There's also a helpful hint and tips page underneath that just talks you through any tips or hints that you might want to take in terms of keeping your budget healthy for the future. And if you pop your email address in here, and click send, it will send you a version of this budget. You can also click the PDF button here. And this will produce a paper version for you. So again, if you have access to that on your computer, you can save that. And you can keep going back to this whenever you want and having a look at what's happening. Once you're happy, click save, and you're all done.